Hello, thanks for joining me and welcome back. When I watched Brenda Clark's video the other day about she's making some very square tags, it reminded me that I had done these covered CD or DVD holders and that I needed to make some square tags to go in them. And since they were using Popular Mechanics in the background, most of them were anyway, I thought I would use a couple of these pages that I've done Popular Mechanics on the front, and there's another layer of paper inside, and then brown paper bag on the back. And I'm going to do some more of those family photo projects. So I just want to figure out how big I want these tags to be. So these cases are about 5 by 5. So if I make them just a little bit narrower, we want to go like 4 3/4 maybe would be our width. So let's just cut ourselves a square edge here. That's kind of obliterating that edge on me, isn't it? So I need to sacrifice another page for the better good. The greater good, as they say. Just in front of that, move over a bit. Just too many loose pieces of paper on that edge that it was just like letting it sort of shred it. And then I'll go this way and do the same thing. I'll just use it this way. This is like the cover of a book, so it's a little bit firmer, so it's really buffering that. And then 4 3/4, I said. A second, which was the edge that I cut? I need to go this way, 4 3/4, there. And because this also has some loose things that could be loose, like that right there, I'm going to put this on top again. It gives me a much better cut. I'm not going to toss this away because I'll be able to use that for a tag. In fact, while I'm here, I'll go ahead and clean up the other edge of it. And let's do it at 3. Looks like it'll just make 3. And then I'll worry about the height later. Right now I want to concentrate on these 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 tags. So I'll go over here. I'm feeling like it's not very square. That edge looks pretty square, so I'm going to put it down this way. Still doesn't look very square. Wow. And then I'll move over and get another one out of this, I believe. 4 3/4. Become a little bit more ruthless with throwing out my scraps. So that's 2. So you know you're getting an 8.5 by 11 basically, but you're only getting 2 square cards out of it and 1 or 2 tags. So that's not too bad. Not too bad. Let's square up this edge. It's actually not bad. So I'm gonna go four and 3/4. That's too short now. Grab another. So covers of magazines are good for this. These are a little thicker. I should check this width before I do these next ones because I might need to go. Yeah, I think that'll work. Once its corners are rounded a bit, I could maybe go just a little bit shy of 4 3/4. Might be just a little better. We're always trying to make things just a little better, right? And again, just a bit shy of 4 3/4. I can use the smaller one again here. And this one could use to be made to 3-inch. And then this one I'll make to 4 3/4. And just shy of it. And that's going to cut off this little bit. I think that's okay. I'm okay with it, so it's okay. And then that is actually big enough to save. It is 1 1/2, almost exactly. So that'll go into my punch and be usable. So let's take our 4 squares and round the corners first. So I'm going to round it with the smallest one, I think. Yeah. And you'll know if they're not square, they won't round over very well if they're not square, because they won't sit properly back down in the area where they need to go. Now that one I think is just because that piece bent over. These will look good with black and white pictures on them, I think. And that one worked a little weird. I don't think I'll be able to get it fixed. So what I might do is just go up to the next size, do all 4 corners of it, so that I get that corrected. I don't know if you could see that, it just wasn't rounded, it was cut on a weird little area, little weird shape. The desk is a bit sticky today. And then let's get my family photos out. I think I have some that are already cut, so I'll try to use them. And I saw something, I guess it was yesterday, that gave me an idea. These are going to be a good size for these. Save my mom's. There's Jim and Ernie. I think Uncle Jack, I'm not sure. Grandpa and Uncle Jack. And then Grandma and some other kids. Let's do Uncle Jack. And then Jack and Elmer. And then Jim and Ernie. For now, we've got a bunch more to do. So what I'd seen was they were using tickets and labels and stuff like that to collage with the pictures, and it looked really cool. So what have I got in here? Oh, that's wax seals. So I'm gonna get some of these vintage labels out. And I've got this with the white edge, but I do want it inked. So I have to do that before I put it down. This one's quite yellowy. So's Ernie. I think that might have been in my photo editing that I created that coloring. Now Ernie has one square edge here, and then these other edges are cut with the ripple scissors. And this is just normal paper on Ernie's picture for some reason. I think I had my photo paper in the printer and it ran out and I didn't realize it. And there's Jim and Ernie sitting on the steps of the cottage at Rice Lake. They lived in Ohio. Come up every year. Never missed a year until they got very, very old. Jack and Elmer, on Jack's first trip to Canada to fish with his family, it was Elmer and him and their firstborn Jay. Jack met my dad at the Dairy Queen. I invited him to West Virginia, and that's how my parents met. So that's kind of a fun story. Okay, so Ernie has a square edge, so I want to put other stuff up against that square edge. And then Jack is in his navy uniform. That doesn't mean anything to that, but put that under. And I got tickets too I can use. So maybe pink one with Ernie. Ernestine. Some blue ones with Jack. Keep this coupon. Actually, I'll put this over here with. I've already kind of got a reddish theme going here. I'll use a red ticket kind of to join those things together. And then a blue ticket over here. Gold seal, maybe? and just a blue label. Let's see how those come together. So this one doesn't need any more inking around things because they're already kind of edged. I'll just go ahead and do my sort of top-down method. Glue that to those three things. This I want just in underneath Uncle Jack. I'll glue him all over. Stick that down. Put some glue on it as well. These are all for my family reunion this fall that I'm not going to. I'm going to send them for everybody to have some. Whoever likes them can have them, kind of thing. Oh, that's upside down. I don't really want that upside down. So there's that, and then that will get inked. And then I want a whale tail tab for sure. Inking the back, even though it's not doing much, it's just doing the edge, like along the edge, really. If you want to see the ink on the brown paper, you kind of have to use the darker ink. And I do sometimes, but it's not important on this. But let's see about whale tail tab for that. Trying to think where my whale tail tabs are. I have a whole box of them. You know, I knew I needed them. I should have got them out. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll just grab my punch and punch some fresh ones. Let's do, on these, let's do some black ones. I don't usually do black whale tail tabs. And this one in particular, I think it would look quite good. Four should be enough with these 4 cards. And what I might do is put a grommet. What do you call it? We don't call them grommets, Judy. What do we call them? We call them yelling at it through the screen, aren't you? I just have a hard time with this word for some reason. Eyelet. It's there. It's just, grommet is there first. And then I can't get that out of my head every time. Larger hole, I think. Pretty hard to see whether I'm in the middle. I did okay. And then, do these ones have rings? Yeah, they do. Try to get the ring out too then. I think it'll work without the ring on the back, but since they're there, I try to use them up. So put that in the front and the ring on the back I got 2 of them there. And squeeze. There, that looks pretty neat. Don't put that too far because I'm going to need it again. So Ernie, I think I do want to ink these tickets. Those are die cut tickets. And then this is just pretty. That's why I picked it for her, just to give this card some more color. And that one's already inked, and she's already inked. So I'm gonna put her like down a little bit in the corner, not right in the middle. Down a little and over a little. Kind of straight. Maybe I'll rearrange this a bit, put these up the side. Had a glob of glue there that I needed to use up. Put those up the side like that. Totally different than I had it arranged. And then I think I'm going to put that cardstock piece just in under her on this side. I'm going to put the glue stick on the back, but because it is more of a cardstock, I'm going to glue it with the white glue as well. And that could have also been a pocket. I should have done it as a pocket and included something else with her, but too late. And then what else did I have? I had this vintage thing, which is too big now. I think I'll use this oval one. It's a bourbon, but that's okay. I don't think she was a drinker, but she was a fisherwoman. And then I'm gonna get this folded first. And then you put glue on the one side, you put glue on the whole thing, and then the other side you just put glue on the part that's going to be down under the card. Kind of eye it up for center. Like that. Sticking to everything today. And I'll put the grommet in this one too. Ooh, that's way off center. You know what I think I'll do instead of, if I can get one right beside it and make like an oblong hole. Take my glasses off to see what I'm doing. There, that centers it up. And then I just have to cut and smooth out the top and the bottom and make like a slot. And then I'll put ribbon or something through that one. And then Jack and Elmer. I just love the way he's looking at her in this picture, just with such an adoring look. It's interesting when you look at pictures of couples and how they're looking at each other, especially in candid shots. This thing really needs inking. And then the gold seal is a, oh no, it was a actual gold seal on a certificate, so I'm gonna have to cut around it with my ripples. And ink it. And then I think I'm going to put that right there. It doesn't matter that it's covering her because it's not covering their faces. But, ooh, well, that one was a sticker. Okay. All right then. So let's stick this down. Like that. And reposition this over a bit. Over into the corner. Or maybe up on top of the gold seal even. It's almost see-through. Trying to keep at making these so I can send a lot of them and then they won't be fighting over them so much. I would hope they would be fighting over them anyway. Maybe nobody will want them, but I think they will because it's because of who the pictures are of. Even if they don't get what they are. If they've been watching me, they'll know, but if they haven't been watching me, they'll be like, what is this and why did she send these? That's better. Walnut, eyelet, and ring. Doing a good job on those. And then just ink. So that's the same man, decades apart. And you can't really see Ernie, but that's Jim and Ernie, I'm pretty sure. Just has a look about her that I recognize. I thought that maybe these were stickers when I got them, but they aren't. Little tickets that I never quite completely cut out. I think I thought I was going to use my little hole punch to do these corners, but it's just as easy to do this. You make me happy. And a blue butterfly. And that's back down to coffee dyed paper, but I'm just going to glue it down. And that could use a third thing. Witch hazel. Doesn't really have any meaning or anything, but trying to keep it a little random. I'm gonna have to cut this short, so what I'll do is just ink quickly and then try these in the pockets. So I think I want Ernie in this one with the bluebird and flowers. And Jack I want in with the arrow and the feather. And Jim and Ernie, I think I'll put with the map and the Adirondack chair because they're at the cottage. And Jack and Eleanor I'll put with the flower and the bird. So they're a perfect fit. And now 4 more pieces of ephemera ready to go to the family reunion. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. But most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.